baseball players, we have to know that base running is extremely important. So today we're going to be going over on how to take your lead at first base and how to get more stolen bases when you're on the base. Now I'm going to be going over the simple steps that you need to be doing when you're getting your lead at first base, and it's going to help you get a better read on the pitcher, it's going to help you get a better jump, and it's going to help you become a more explosive base runner from first base. Now I will be doing leads from second and third on a different video, but today we're strictly focusing on just our lead from first base and how to do it correctly. The very first thing we want to do is make sure we're not crossing our feet. So if you're coming off here and we're crossing our feet, we already messed up. Now that's very important because if the pitcher were to pick to me, I'm crossed, then I have to turn and go back. I could trip up, get tagged off, picked off, and then it becomes an issue. So to make it easy for you guys, it's going to look very simple. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with the left foot. You're going to take a step. So then after that, you're going to use your right foot, take another step. Now we're in a balanced position here. From here, we're going to shuffle one time and half a shuffle the next. So there should be enough distance where all I need to do is take a step and dive back if the pitcher were to pick off to me. Now, if you're a faster runner, somebody that has a quicker reaction, then maybe we could take a little bit more. If you're somebody that's slower, you can take maybe a little bit less, but make sure you know your ability on the bases. If you're a slow runner, don't take a huge lead, and then next thing you know, you get picked off right away. You want to be careful. You want to make sure that you're doing it correctly, and you want to make sure that you're comfortable with the lead you're taking. So for example, this is just for video purposes so you guys can see me. I'm going to be around here, and here it gives me enough room to be able to turn, dive, and I'll be able to be there safe with no problem, making sure I reach the bag without an issue. It's very crucial and important that we don't cross our feet in that certain situation, especially if you're an older player playing in high school, college. Pitchers have a better reaction. Pitchers can actually pick you off in a sense that they know if you're getting too big of a lead, or if you're not quick enough, they're going to read that, they're going to pick that up, and we do not want to get picked off. Now that I have my lead, obviously for video purposes, I'm really close to the bag, so you guys can just see my form as I am standing in the base path. So once I have my lead here, I see a lot of kids that tend to kind of just lean back on this leg that's going towards the bag and kind of just sit there so that they could go back. Well, that's not going to work because all your momentum is going back. So let's say you want to get your secondary and you're leaning back. Now we have to drift our balance, drift our body, and take our secondary here instead of starting nice and balanced right here on my toes, and then take a bigger secondary. Obviously it's a shuffle, not just one shuffle. I'll show you guys that in a second, but just make sure that your body's not leaning back or leaning forward, and that both your hands aren't like this on the ground. This creates no momentum, get any explosiveness from here. We have to be able to stay nice and balanced and ready to go in case you're stealing a bag. So my biggest tip is hold your hands close to your body here and just ready to go. So your reaction needs to be basically an elbow here and a punch right here when we go to take off, staying nice and low so we can stay explosive. Once we come up, we lose speed. We become a lot slower when we're running in the bases. So again, I'm here, nice and balanced. My body's nice and balanced. And I'm just on my toes, always on my toes, never flat-footed. If we're flat-footed, teams tend to pick up on that, and they can see that you're probably not a good base runner, and they most likely will pick you off or throw you out at second base if you get the chance to steal a bag. Let's say you're not going to steal a bag and you're just getting your secondary. We, again, want to make sure that we're nice and balanced here, ready to rock. Once a pitcher goes to throw the pitch, it's a shuffle, boom. Once we see, we either go back. If it's a pass ball or a ball in the dirt and you get a good read, we take off to second base. That's going to be, if you're not stealing, that's just your secondary. Remember, line drive, we got to freeze. If it's a line drive to first base, you know, it's a tough situation there, but you still got to make sure you get your secondary. You can't be scared to get your secondary. We have to be aggressive on the base path. We have to be explosive, and we got to stay on our toes. We can't just stand there and hope that they get a base hit, we get to second base. No, we got to make something happen when we're on the bases. Now, if we were going to steal, I have my lead here. and I'm going to stay right here. Once we see the pitcher lift that front leg up, so if the pitcher's a righty and he goes here, he can't pick you off. So if he has a high leg kick, we have to be able to read that as a base runner and make sure that we're going as soon as that front leg picks up, which would be his left leg on a right-handed pitcher. So if I'm here, once that left leg goes up, it's elbow punch and we take off. Now, the key here is to stay low, stay explosive, and we have to be quick. So once I read that, right, I do elbow punch, I'm going to stay low as possible here and making sure I'm taking good enough strides to make sure that we can steal that bag. It is very, very important that when we run, we don't try to just look at the catcher. We go based off what the coaches are telling us and making sure that we try our best to get to second base and making sure that we're sliding to make sure to avoid a tag if it's a bang bang play. It's very important that we stay explosive and low and we don't stay flat-footed when we're on the base path. If you're flat-footed, you're gonna have a delayed reaction, you're gonna have a bad jump, and it's just gonna be a little bit more difficult for you as a base runner to actually steal a bag. So again, remember, we're just here, our hands are ready here. If they go to pick off, I just turn and dive back. And then if I'm going to steal, it's an elbow punch and then we take off. Staying low, staying explosive, and making sure that we're holding our balance when we're running on the bases is huge. We don't want to fall and then next you know we get thrown out or we get picked off because we weren't balanced or because we fell, we tripped up on our own feet. I've seen it happen in person and it's very unfortunate and it sucks, especially for the person that's base running. And sometimes it's just because they're just not doing things right. So I don't want this to happen to you. I want you to make sure that you're getting a good lead, making sure that you're getting a good jump and a good secondary when you're not stealing. So for a real example, I'm gonna show you what my lead actually looks like and what I would do when I was playing to make sure that I can try and steal as many bags as possible. So left, right, step, step. Here I know that I can dive back and reach that bag. Obviously if you're shorter or taller, depending on your speed, depending on your reaction, we can get a little bit more, a little bit less. It all depends on personal preference and what your coaches are telling you. So make sure you really pay attention when you're base running in practice or in games and picking up on the pitcher. Now my secondary is just, I see the pitcher pitch, just 1, 2, boom, I see, and then I come back. Very nice and easy. And then when I go to steal a bag, I'm here. And if I go, I'm boom, and I'm taking off. Making sure I'm staying low, making sure I'm staying explosive, and making sure that I'm being very, very aware of where the baseball is when I'm actually on the bases, making sure that I'm not getting picked off. You don't want to give your team an out because of poor base running. It's one of the most underrated things that I think people pay attention to. So make sure that you're really focusing when you're at first base. Your run counts. It doesn't matter what the score is. It matters. So if you get thrown out, that matters. If you give them a free out, that matters. We want to make sure that we become a hard out also, not just at the plate, but also on the bases, and make sure that we're applying pressure to the pitcher and that defense when we're running. I promise you, if you apply all these things, you're going to become a good base runner. You're going to become alert. Making sure that we're not flat-footed is key, especially when you're on first base, depending on how many outs there are. Stay explosive, stay aware of the situation, know what your job is on the base, listen to your coaches, pick up your signs. I promise you your coaches are gonna give you the best signs possible to make sure that you get to second base, and the hitter's gonna try to do his best to get you over and do his job. Base running is huge, base running is very important, so make sure when you're doing base running practice, you take it seriously and make sure that you apply everything that I just went over, and I promise you, you're gonna see a huge difference when you're base running. You're gonna become a lot better base runner, plus you're gonna create good habits. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, please make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.